First up here at 11, starting today, millions of Americans could see their grocery budget shrink. The largest cut to food stamp benefits in U.S. history is now in effect, and officials estimate 2.4 million people will qualify each month. 2.4 million fewer people will qualify each month for those benefits. Fox 13's Evan Moon looked at the impacts of the changes to the SNAP program.
40 million Americans use SNAP benefits, and Florida has one of the highest enrollments. But with new work requirements, many could lose access. I spoke with local food banks like the one behind me that worry families could go hungry. 3 million Floridians are estimated to be using SNAP, 12% of the state's population, providing groceries to low-income families.
I only had $23 in food stamps, and I had to make that scratch, and it was not enough whatsoever.
Still got the same story, but there's no help. It's very hard to figure out how I'm going to feed my son and my daughter every night.
On average, it's about...
All right, you see it. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, IQAhmath. It's your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name, IQ, it's all the same. DSTM is what you're watching right now. Don't shoot the messenger. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. If you've not, don't get too close because you might get shot. It's real, y'all. We've been saying this for a long time now and been trying to wean our people off of being socially and economically dependent upon the system, because eventually the system will backstab you. It does not have your best interest in heart. We've got a couple of, instances here that we see two sisters right there, man. And it's a shame because they've been so reliant upon the system now, and they said that it's the same cycle. They're having trouble getting answers regarding how they're going to feed their kids, right? We're going to look a little bit more at that news report, but at the same time, we got to share some scriptures in regards to what's going on, because, our people have been, as it's been known, to be destroyed for lack of knowledge. But at the same time, we've got to really embrace and understand what's going on. Let's look at the book of Lamentations, the 4th chapter. And let me share my screen this way. All right. Boom. There we go. And let's look at this. In Lamentations 4:17, it says, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help." Right? When you really understand them, and some of our people do, but many of our people who don't really have a solidified understanding of themselves, let alone their obligation to fear the Most High and keep the commandments, knowing who they are, know who their enemies are, so forth and so on, according to biblical standards, you will get swept up. You will get swept up by the system if you know what the initiation of these governmental programs are, or these safety net programs, as they're also called, many of which were designed to destroy the nuclear family, the Western nuclear family of the Black and Hispanics and Native Americans, right? When you've got particular programs like Section 8, who forbid a man being in the house, where the government and the state becomes daddy, right? And our women now have been being weaponized to cause division within the household, making sure that men can't be in the house. There was a particular episode of what's the name of that show? BMF. And it goes to show you the two brothers that, big time drug dealers or whatever, both of them ended up getting locked up, snitching and everything else, just like every other drug story goes. But there's a particular moment when their parents are having, marital issues and all of that. And the husband gets hurt at work. And, the mother goes to try to get benefits. And they were getting ready to, sign her up. They was buttering up. "Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah, we're going to take care of you, this, that, and the third. Now, you don't got a man in the house, do you?" And she was like, "Well, yeah, I am married, but he's not working and he's not helping." It was like, "Oh, yeah, we're going to deny you your benefits." To where she had to double back and game the system and try to doll herself up and seduce. She went back again, seduced the dude, trying to, get her cleavage and denied that her man was in the house so that she can get those benefits. This is the type of things that, our people are sitting up here doing in order to get these benefits so White Zaddy can take care of you. But at the end of the day, White Zaddy is only out for his own particular interest, right? As for us, as the scriptures say, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. So our people get caught up in vanity, thinking that this so-called white man and this system is going to be designed to help and save you and get you out of your poverty. And don't get me wrong, and I don't mean to sound disparaging to those who need the help. There are plenty of our people who need the help, but there are plenty of our people who also have been spoiled by this so-called help that's been given, and it has left you debilitated to where you have not enhanced your knowledge, your wisdom, your skill level, your education, your ability to raise your children, in an environment that could also and should also include a male in the home. All of these things have now been deleted out of your resume, and you have no idea how to survive now when the pacifier gets pulled out your mouth. Look at this, Sirach 13:6. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee. See, black women, Hispanic women, y'all been running to the polls, voting for the Democrats. Democrats going to take care of you. They're going to make sure that SNAP card is maxed up. They're going to make sure that Section 8 keeps flowing. HUD is going to find you affordable housing, all that other stuff. Everything is getting cut. And guess what? The Republicans are doing the same thing to you. How many of the blacks for Trump, Hispanic women for Trump, all this other stuff? They was going to take care of you. They, what is Slow Biden was over there breaking the bank, especially for so-called migrants and immigrants coming over here, giving them hotel rooms and SNAP cards and debit cards with money on them, getting free food and everything up. Listen, the gravy train is over. America is broke. But if he have need of thee, he'll deceive thee. When he has a need for you to be weaponized against the black man and the Hispanic man to divide households, when he has need of you to, utilize the kids as weapons and go into court cases and divorce court and custody battles and, being venomous and destructive in households. And, he's going to use you for those particular things. Sisters, you cannot be deceived by the things that he's utilizing against us. Again, I don't mean to sound disparaging to those that need it. Plenty of our people need that help, but it's only supposed to be a crutch until you get on your feet and you get back out there and you handle your business so that you're not dependent upon somebody. Because once you owe him, he owns you. You understand? And now that he pulls the plug, we got our sisters out here. Here they go. Let me rewind it. Now they ain't tears. Poor sister talking about she only getting $23 EBT for multiple babies, I'm sure.
I only had $23 in food stamps, and I had to make that scratch, and it was not enough whatsoever.
Baby girl said, scratch. Yeah, that's how you know she done said, forget school, forget education, forget trying to better myself, forget trying to get into a trade and enhance my skill level. What scratch? She's been sitting on that EBT for a hot minute saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna always, and as many places now have expanded. You've been able to use EBT. You can get fast food to EBT. You can get all different kind of foods and everything else. SNAP benefits. Look, honey's got gold teeth, but she out here crying about can't feed the babies. This is what I'm talking about. When our people sit back here and say, you know what, I'm going to always give my benefit. I'm going to always make sure there's food on the table, this, that, and the third. Yeah, throw these gold fronts in my teeth. Baby girl, you better get out there and get them damn gold fronts out your teeth. Tighten up your look, and you're going to have to get out there and figure it out because Esau done already pulled the plug.
I only had $23 in food stamps, and I had to make that scratch, and it was not enough whatsoever.
Still got the same story, but there's no help. It's very hard to figure out how I'm gonna feed my son and my daughter every night.
On average,
Yeah, you better cash in them gold teeth then, honey. See, our people's priorities is all twisted. And now when Esau says, oh no, pulling the plug, I thought y'all knew. This gravy train ain't gonna run forever. Why? Because here it says, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee. He's going to smile upon thee and put thee in hope. As our people been sitting back waiting every day, waiting for that card to get re-up, Medicaid benefits got cut. Millions of people lost their benefits of their Medicare, medical as well. So it's not just the food, it's the medical, it's everything. And they're putting stipulations on it. We're going to see in a minute. He'll put thee in hope, and he will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Oh, I'm going to make sure I'm going to take you. Look at this. He will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. That's how our people's going to get treated. Should have got off your ass. That's what she get. And now you're going to have our sisters making desperate moves to put food on the table and take care of their babies. And you know what them desperate moves include? Selling their bodies. You understand what I'm saying? Compromising their morals in order to keep the money going, right? And if that ain't the case, they might get out there selling dope. Who knows what they're going to do? They're going to try to bounce to another program. Maybe this is going to help. Maybe this. Listen, them programs is over with. Let's look a little bit more of this. Look at that. They saying now the working requirements, you used to only have to work if you was up to 40. If you were older than 49, you didn't have to work. You were still going to get your benefits. Now they boosting that up a whole nother 15 years to expand, saying if you up to 63 years old, you better get out there and find you a job. 62, 60, get out there and find you a job. Damn sure them little young honeys over there crying about $23. You're of working age. They're gonna tell you get out there and get to work. And they saying, oh, all you need is 20 hours a week. Get your part-time job. It's okay. Really? Hold on. Let's just finish. And look at how the white woman laugh. It's gonna make it difficult. Now notice they said they gotta find jobs, right? But hold on. Nearly 1 million jobs just vanished. The American labor market was much weaker than we thought. New figures show. See, that's the dichotomy. That's the trap. There is no jobs. We've been talking about that for a long time now. How the economy is about to, the bubble's about to burst, crash out. We see the unemployment numbers. I think they said they created 22,000 jobs last month. Well below expected numbers. Usually they're in the hundreds of thousands of jobs they're supposed to be making. 22,000. Who knows how many of those was real jobs? Many a company is creating jobs within and only hiring within. It's not like they're offering to outside applicants. Look at this. Jerome Powell says Gen Z and minorities are having a hard time finding jobs, but now they've already created the stipulation saying you've got to get a job in order to keep your benefits going, but there are no jobs. See, that's how you know when you talk about this. When we say the white man's a devil, he is a deceiver, man. He sit up there and put you in hope and tell you, hey, don't worry. You'll still be able to keep your benefits. Just get a part-time job, 20 hours a week. Oh, yeah, don't. And you go out there, application after application, ghost job after ghost job, fake interview after fake interview, and ain't nobody hiring you. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed. You see them sisters out there crying and grievous because they know. Them babies is gonna be crying and saying, "Mama, I'm hungry, Mama." There's only so much you can do to stretch out anything. $23. How the hell she even do that? That's the resiliency of our people. I'll take my hat off to her for even being able to do that. And now you're saying that's about to get cut? Verse 2, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey. See that? These single mothers, whether their men have passed away or they're just not there or failed relationships or whatever the case may be. That's why it's important to come into this law. Because the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments hold men and women accountable into a standard to maintain a family, to build our nation up. It ain't no hit it and quit it, one night standing, and all this other foolishness that the world presents, the fornication, adultery. You cannot do that in this nation. You cannot do that in the Most High's laws. Responsible men and women become greater husbands, wives, mothers, and fathers when you come into this truth. You won't be a prey. You understand? And that they may rob the fatherless. See, that's what's happening. Our people getting robbed. But they trusted in Egypt, man. They trusted in this thing. Look at this. Isaiah 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. See, here they are here in Egypt, modern day Egypt, believing that fat meat is greasy, and they're gonna always have them benefits snapping on that card, and they can always swipe and go to McDonald's and Jack in the Box and get KFC because EBT's accepting it. You can go to the corner store, buy whatever you want. You can go buy the nice little steak and this, that, and the third at the grocery store, and the best of the best. That's done, man. That's over with. Verse 2, that they may go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's the problem. Now, verse 3, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. See, trusting in Pharaoh. Agent Orange, number 47, the Democrats, whoever, thinking that this system that's built upon oppression, that's built upon racial inequality, is going to be your strength. No, it's your shame. And the trust and shadow of Egypt, your confusion. Because now they're telling you, oh, don't worry, you're still going to have it, but get a job. But there ain't no damn jobs. Look at the federal government figures now suggest that the U.S. economy added nearly 1 million fewer jobs in 12 months ending in March than monthly estimates suggested. That would mean the American labor market was much weaker than we thought and began to weaken sooner. Yeah, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, Trump just fired the previous person saying they was, messing with the numbers and the real numbers are going to come out. And man, if this dude don't stop lying, his big, beautiful bill, he had Doge in there sweeping through the government offices, cleaning out the swamps, saving billions of dollars. Where is it at? Where is that? Is it helping the people? Is it going back into these? No, everything is being stripped down and taken. I seen a video of him showing off a particular office in the White House that he's got all gold everything. See, this is the type of madness that's going on. See, while everybody's looking at getting distracted, looking at the Charlie Kirk, and I said I wasn't going to speak about him no more, but this is just a point to make. While that distraction and that psyop is going on, other nefarious things are happening to our people at a rapid rate, and our people are losing out big time. You're looking for Jacob's trouble, you on the right path. We're not there yet, not even close. But the proverbial knock at the door is there. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said in its preliminary benchmark revision that 911,000 fewer jobs were created from March 2024 to March 2025. That slices about half the growth off earlier official figures and means that the economy added only about 850,000 jobs over that period. So, and then those numbers, just like with Slow Biden, those numbers end up coming out fudged in lies. Let's finish this up before we get out of here. Now, notice she said people are going to have to make really difficult decisions, meaning they're going to buy the cheaper GMO, laced up foods, the Franken foods that's going to be affordable for them, that's only going to be allowed to be bought on these cards, right? And notice they said that's going to lead to further health problems. Now, we just seen on here, Jerome Powell, we didn't play the video, but you see here, Gen Z and minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. Well, who's going to be the hardest hit by stuff like this? You've seen it. You've seen two examples already talking. Let's let this play. There you have it. There you have it, right? SNAP, EBT, you also know that Section 8, that's going to get hit as well. I believe they said 2026. That's coming down the pipeline where Section 8 benefits are going to have limitations on them. I think they said you're only going to have your keep your voucher for like 2 years. Then you're going to have to surrender it to the next person. You better get a job and get whatever you need out the picture. See, this the problem where we're at now. Troubling times are ahead. So, brothers and sisters out there, man, stay prayed up, man. Be vigilant. Exercise your faith, and got to break free from this beast system, man, because he doesn't have our best interests at heart. As we've been saying for a long time now, this was coming, and now it's here. I'm gonna go and get up out of here, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. Shalom.